Hello, my name is Gus, but you can call me BATGUS, and today we are back with our Batman the Animated Series commentary. And today's episode is gonna be none other than Feet of Clay, which is the first episode in this series to feature one of my favorite villains from the Batman Rogues Gallery, CLAYFACE. So let's go. I'm gonna do my countdown as usual. If you are watching this series in your DVD box set or Blu-ray box set or your streaming service so we can watch it together, okay? So in 3, 2, 1, let's go. The Warner Bros. Logo is on the screen. And like I said, Feet of Clay is the introduction to the villain CLAYFACE on the series. And like I said, one of my favorite villains of Batman. I love the concept, the idea of this metamorph guy. And I also love the idea of Batman facing monsters, right? Going towards the more supernatural and even horror style of stories. And Feet of Clay and some of the other episodes with CLAYFACE definitely lean a little into this whole genre of stories that have a little bit of horror or a little bit of body horror, body, and a little of, the transformation of CLAYFACE is something that is very dark and sinister. So I love this villain because of that, and I would love to see a version of his on live action, right? And we're gonna talk a little bit about this later, but hopefully this can happen sooner than later. And the episode starts in a very spy thriller kind of way. We have Lucius Fox, which is the employee of Bruce Wayne in Wayne Industries, meeting Bruce Wayne on a abandoned railroad station, and Bruce Wayne apparently is meeting his employee to get some documents that are related to one of the gangsters of the show, which is Daggett, right? The guy who is actually an industrialist who has very dirty deeds and is connected to the criminal area of Gotham. And apparently Lucius Fox has some documents that incriminate Daggett, and apparently Bruce Wayne is about to hand these documents to the DA of Gotham, but suddenly Lucius realizes that this is a trap. The Bruce Wayne that is meeting him in this station is not actually Bruce Wayne, but is a guy pretending to be Bruce Wayne, with his face and his voice, and is kind of confusing to Lucius. Actually, he doesn't know it is not Bruce Wayne, right? We know that is a imposter, but he doesn't. And then he gets trapped by these goons who show up with guns, and they hit a sign on the station that falls over Lucius Fox and knocks him out. And Batman shows up to bust this criminal activity, and we're gonna have a scene where he fights these goons in the station. Very cool location, by the way, with the whole abandoned car trains that you can see around you. You can see the whole floor has many. The floor is old and full of holes, We have spider webs around. It's a very cool and interesting location in terms of design. One of the things that is very interesting about this episode, this two-parter episode, is that the first part, the one that we are watching now, the animation is good. It actually is okay, but not that good. And there are many points in the episode that you can see that the animation style, it's okay. It's serviceable for the story. Although the second episode, the second part, is really good because it's the one that really features Clayface battling Batman and using his powers to transform into something, and that requires a higher level of animation that in the second episode is much more developed. Anyway, Batman is able to kick the ass of some goons, but at the same time they escape. And Lucius Fox, the police arrives, and Lucius Fox tells them that Bruce Wayne was the one who trapped him. And it's a very interesting thing because this is one of the stories that Bruce Wayne is gonna get wrongly accused for a crime he didn't commit. And then we get to know the imposter that the imposter who was pretending to be Bruce Wayne in a movie studio, right? It's a film studio called Imperial Pictures. And we're gonna see that this guy is actually a movie actor that works in the studio, and his name is Matt Hagen, movie actor. And he has a problem because he is deformed in real life, and he uses a product that is provided by Daggett, Roland Daggett, and this product is able to fix his face so he is able to work in his movies, but it's a temporary effect, right? And the thing is that in order to receive these products from Daggett, from his industries, Matt Hagen needs to do some jobs for the man, and this involves criminal activities, right? Usually pretending to be someone else, like in this case, pretending to be Bruce Wayne in the whole Lucius Fox thing. And we can see that there is this funny effect that Matt Hagen is able to use the product. Actually, he used the product and is able to change his face with his own hands and able to, almost like a clay, he is able to shape his face in the way that he wants, right? Including transform the face into the appearance of other people, like Bruce Wayne. And this is an interesting version of the character because in the comics we have many versions of Clayface. In fact, we have different Clayfaces, right? In the comic book since the Bronze Age of comics, and or should I say the Golden Age of comics, right? And we have Clayface 1, 2, 3. I know that the first version of Clayface was a guy named Basil Carlo, or Basil Carlo. I think is this the name, and he is he also was an actor working for a studio, but he didn't have Clayface's superpowers. Actually, he was just a guy wearing this clay mask, and he was committing murders on a movie set. and it was I believe it was almost like a whodunit style of story, which we didn't know who was the guy in the beginning of the comic, who was the murderer, and then in the end is revealed to be Basil Carlo. But Matt Haig came much later in the comics, and it is this version that is the metamorph version of Clayface, which I prefer much more because, like I said, it brings this whole monster element to the Batman mythos, and I love this. Anyway, we are in a scene where Roland Daggett is talking to his ghouls. This episode, this two-parter, has this very interesting characteristic that is that all the goons, the individual goons of Roland Daggett, they have different personalities. We have one guy that is germophobic and he hates to touch things. He doesn't touch doorknobs or these kinds of things. He uses a tissue to be able to touch them. A very intriguing and interesting mental condition, should I say, to portray one goon. It gives him a very distinct personality. At the same time, we have another one that has these headphones all the time with him, and he's always listening to the cops in the radio to be able to know when they are going to come, right? Or what is being transmitted in the police radio station. And Matt Hagen, he goes into the industries of Daggett to get some of the products that he uses, to get more of the product by stealing it, because he doesn't want to do any more criminal activities for the mob boss. So he decides to go by his own. He's busted by Daggett's goons trying to steal the liquid. And this is where we're going to have this very shocking scene where the goons get him and actually I'm watching the scene now. I remember how bizarre it is, but they drop the whole liquid in his face, and the chemical solution will cause a reaction that will change his entire body, because I believe he also swallows the liquid. And the scene is shown by the shadows of these guys doing that on the wall because it's a very shocking scene, right? After that, they leave Matt Hagen in his car, and he is unconscious. And we see by a very quick glimpse that his hands start to melt inside the car, which is very, again, is a body horror style of scene. Then we're gonna have a scene in the Batcave where Batman is checking his Bat computer and seeing some information about one of the goons that works for Daggett, named Raymond Bell. And during it, Alfred will break the news to him that he is being searched by the police because of the wrong accusation of attacking Lucius Fox. And this will drive Batman very angry because he has no idea what's going on. And we're gonna have this wonderful scene now with the Batwing, which I believe is the first action scene with the Batwing in the show. It's not the first time we see the Batwing on the show, because we've seen it in the episode The Forgotten, where Alfred was piloting the ship and not Batman. But now it's Batman piloting the aircraft, and he is chasing Raymond Bell, which is a very, very interesting idea because he's chasing this goon in his car. So it's a chase, but at the same time, it's a car chase with being chased by an aircraft, right? So a very interesting mixture of vehicle chases, and Batman is going to use many tactics to actually get to Bell and to get some information from him about what's happening. Bell now is since he listens to the cops in the radio. Batman used his voice changer in the Batwing to get into the transmission and make a voice of a cop, telling the other police officers to chase a car with the description of his car. So he gets very nervous and starts to drive dangerously in the streets, right? And then we have this amazing scene where he enters a tunnel. Raymond Bell enters a tunnel in his car, and Batman, he also enters the tunnel with the Batwing, but from the other side. And we have this scene. It's not a very well animated scene, but I like what they tried to do, which is to show this sequence with the camera hovering over the Batwing as it passes by us, and we see Batman very quickly inside the cockpit while it flies inside the tunnel. And then he grabs the car of Raymond Bell using the front ears of the Batwing that pierce the car in his lateral. Then the Batman grabs Raymond Bell inside the car with a mechanic arm of the ship and brings him out of the vehicle and tosses the vehicle away, and he basically flies with the man being held only by the mechanical arm in the sky, which is very cruel for Batman, but at the same time he is very angry and he really wants to know who was the imposter impersonating Bruce Wayne in that night. And we have an amazing scene where Batman, he goes down with the Batwing towards the ocean of around Gotham, and he flies the ship very near the water, and Raymond Bell has to basically run over the water with his feet because they are touching the water, right? And then he flips the Batwing with the man. It's amazing. Talking to him and demanding an answer about the imposter. But then Bell faints because of the whole adrenaline. He faints, and the actual cops arrive now and in their helicopters, and they tell the Batwing to land and release the prisoner. And Batman releases Bell, but he drops the man over a pool in a rooftop of a building so he doesn't die, right? So it's a very very cool way to get rid of this goon, and actually wakes him up in the process as well. Great scene. So Bell is arrested, but Batman isn't able to get the information. Then Bruce Wayne actually breaks into the hospital where Lucius Fox is in order to try to talk to the man and get more information about what happened. But Lucius gets extremely scared of him because he still thinks Bruce Wayne was the guy who tried to kill him that night. And now he thinks the man is there to do that again. Bruce tries to calm him down, but is unable to. And Lucius calls the nurses and the cops in the hospital. So he is taken under arrest, right? And then we cut to the final scene of this episode where the Matt Hagen's assistant in the studio goes after him and finds him in a car, in an alley, his car. He gets near the man to see, to check if he's okay inside the car. And this is where we're going to see the first sign of transformation of Clayface, which is a great scene because Clayface is basically now a huge mountain of clay oozing out of the car, and his assistant touches him and he realizes the man has become a monster, right? And Hagen, he opens his eyes and looks in the front rear mirror of the car and sees his own reflection and then screams in panic. And then we have the card of to be continued. So this is it. We're gonna go now to the second episode. Thank you if you watched this video now. I hope you watch the other commentaries of the other episodes here in this playlist. I hope you are enjoying this Bat content, and see you in the next Bat video for more, alright? See you, and bye-bye.